In this demo, I'm going to introduce you dkNET's Authentication Reports. I will show you how dkNET can help you to prepare authentication plans for your research resources in order to comply with NIH's mandates on authentication of key biological resources. To get access to the dkNET Authentication Report, go to dkNET.org, click Authentication Report and FAIR data on the lower left corner. On the next page, you will see the Authentication Report section on the left side. To learn about NIH mandate, you can also click Learn about NIH mandate on resource identification and authentication. To help researchers understand and comply with the requirement and the recommendation coming from the NIH and the publishers, dkNET has created scientific rigor and reproducibility resources, such as resources related to the NIH policy on rigor and reproducibility. Here you can learn about the grant guideline, and we provide links of resources that will bring you to detailed instruction and information at NIH website. If you want to learn about how dkNET can assist you in preparing the authentication of key biological and/or chemical resources report for your grant application, click the title here. You will then see the information about authenticating key biological resources. And then you can also create your report from here. Okay, let me go back to the main authentication report webpage. From here, to create an authentication report, you can click Create your authentication report now. Or from dkNET homepage, you can actually directly click Authentication Report. Once you reach the Authentication Report webpage, there are two methods for researchers to make authentication plan. You can make authentication plans manually without creating an authentication report, or you can use dkNET's automatic tool to create the authentication report. Here is the basic authentication information for you to make authentication plan for cell line and antibody manually. You can expand the information here, and you will find how to check resource information using dkNET's resource report, and you can find a standard authentication plans such as how to identify cell lines and the STR profiling and references. For antibodies, we provide you the information about how to identify and validate antibody using dkNET's resource report. A table of suggested validation method based on applications is also provided here. You can also use dkNET's resource report to look for knockout organism. We provide a quick button here for you to search for knockout organism for validation. Once you reach the resource report organism page, you just type in a keyword of your interest, for example, NS2. Then you can then refine your search result using available facet here, and then to find the knockout organism to use. So here is a demo to show you how to make an authentication plan manually. Click Check Resource Information. Let's search GAD65 get. Input vendor and the catalog number will help you to find the specific antibody easier. So I'm going to type BD and click search. So by clicking antibody name, it will bring you to resource report at dkNET. You can now find RID information of this antibody. To identify this antibody, provide name, vendor, catalog number, and RID in your plan. For validation information, click Expand under Antibody Information. You can now check target organism and check comment for the application and check if there are any validation information available from any sources such as ENCODE or resource community. Then you can make authentication plan based on your application here. So like I mentioned earlier, if you don't want to do this manually, dkNET has created an automatic tool for you to make this easier. Here is an example of the report. In the report, you will find resource information, RID, noted issue or problem if there are any, and the suggested authentication plan based on submitted information. To use this tool, click Start here. Here shows you the 5 steps. Step 1, click New Authentication Report. Second step, find and add your resources. Third step, check resource information. Next step, preview the report. And the last step, save the report and generate a PDF file with data and timestamp. Now let's click New Authentication Report. Type 1D demo. The next step is to find and add your antibody and the cell lines. Select antibody, type in vendor and the catalog information. And then click Search. If this is the antibody that you are looking for, then click Add. Now you will see the antibody is in the item list. If you add a cell line with non-issue, let me click cell line and search for you can see that there is a warning sign here. And in the comment, it's telling you what the problem is. If you still want to add this resource, now the system will give you a warning to let you know that this cell line is discontinued and problematic. Assume that we have already added all the resource. Now you can check resource information and authentication plans by clicking the resource in the item list. Let me return to the dashboard. To generate a report, simply click Preview the report and then save PDF report. Now we have successfully to create a PDF report with timestamp. Because dkNET continues update our data from sources, therefore the data might be different along the time. If the data is updated, you can generate another report by clicking Preview the report and save the PDF. And let's check out the report. So here's the report. We add cell line and have authentication plan, and the antibody have antibody authentication plan, and the list of the resource. Hope you find this tutorial useful. If you have more questions about how to use dkNET, please contact us at info@dkNET.org or use the help desk on the lower right corner of dkNET website.